If you want to build anything that lasts, whether it's a career, a business, a relationship, or even your own sense of purpose, you have to start with the foundation. And the foundation of all success, all achievement, all transformation is mindset. It's the way you see yourself. It's the way you interpret challenges. It's the internal dialogue that either pushes you forward or pulls you back into the same patterns of limitation. People love to talk about strategy, about techniques, about the next big idea that will change their lives, but none of that matters if the foundation isn't solid. You could hand someone the best blueprint for success, give them all the knowledge in the world, and if their mindset is weak, if they don't believe they're capable, if they see effort as a waste of time, if they quit the moment things get difficult, none of it will make a difference. They'll sabotage themselves before they ever get started. You have to understand that the mind is a tool, and like any tool, it can either build or destroy depending on how you use it. The thoughts you allow to take root in your mind shape your perception of the world. If you see obstacles as proof that you're not good enough, you'll give up. But if you see them as challenges to overcome, as stepping stones, you'll find a way to push through. The truth is, life is going to test you. You will fail. You will hit moments of frustration where everything in you screams to stop. And in that moment, what separates those who rise from those who remain stuck isn't talent, it isn't luck, it's their mindset. You see, a strong mindset isn't just about positive thinking, it's about responsibility. It's about looking at your life, your circumstances, your results, and instead of blaming external factors, instead of pointing fingers at the world, you ask yourself, what can I do? What's within my control? That's where real power comes from. The moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as the one who can shape them, your life begins to change. And this isn't just some motivational cliche. There's something deeply psychological about this. The way you interpret events, the way you explain your own setbacks to yourself directly influences how you respond. If you internalize failure as proof that you're not cut out for something, you'll hesitate next time. You'll shrink. But if you see it as feedback, as information that can make you sharper, more prepared, more resilient, then you'll get back up and try again, but this time with more wisdom. This is what separates people who succeed from those who don't. It's not that successful people never face doubt. It's not that they never feel fear or insecurity. The difference is that they don't let those emotions dictate their action. They feel the fear and they move forward anyway. They acknowledge the struggle, but they refuse to be defined by it. You have to train yourself to see struggle as necessary. Too many people want success to come easily. They want growth without discomfort. They want transformation without sacrifice. But that's not how it works. Strength, mental strength, is developed through resistance. Just like a muscle grows through stress and recovery, your mindset strengthens through adversity. If you avoid challenges, if you shrink from responsibility, you remain weak. And a weak mind will betray you when it matters most. So how do you build a mindset that serves you instead of sabotages you? You start by becoming aware of your own thoughts. You pay attention to the narratives you tell yourself. You start questioning whether those narratives are helping you or holding you back. And then little by little, you start rewriting them. Instead of saying, I can't do this, you say, I haven't figured this out yet, but I will. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, you say, I'm becoming better every single day. Instead of saying life is unfair, you say life is challenging, but I am capable. Because here's the thing, your mind will believe whatever you tell it repeatedly. If you keep reinforcing weakness, you'll live out that weakness. If you reinforce strength, resilience, and responsibility, you will become those things. At the end of the day, everything you want, your success, your fulfillment, your ability to build a life that actually means something, begins and ends with how you think. The moment you take control of that, the moment you decide that you are the architect of your own mind, everything changes. Because once you master your mindset, you master your future. But there's something about discipline that people misunderstand. They think it's about restriction, about forcing yourself into a rigid, joyless structure. But discipline isn't about limiting your freedom. It's about creating it. It's about proving to yourself that you're in control of your actions, your habits, your life. And without it, you'll be a slave to impulse, to procrastination, to whatever fleeting feeling happens to take over in the moment. It's easy to talk about success, about growth, about transformation, but at some point, talk isn't enough. You have to act. And not just once, not just when you feel inspired, but every single day. That's where consistency comes in. Because real progress isn't made in a single breakthrough moment. It's built in the quiet repetition of small actions over time. People love the idea of motivation, and it's great when it's there, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you wake up ready to conquer the world, and other days you don't even want to get out of bed. If you rely on motivation, you'll never build anything meaningful because the moment it fades, so does your effort. Discipline is what takes over when motivation disappears. It's what keeps you moving forward when you don't feel like it, and that's the key, doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It's showing up for yourself every day, even when the excitement is gone. It's sticking to the plan, even when no one is watching. It's doing the work, even when there's no immediate reward. Because in the beginning, you won't see results. That's what discourages most people. They put in the effort for a week, a month, maybe even a few months, and when nothing major changes, they quit. But what they don't realize is that success isn't linear. The results don't come immediately, they accumulate. And those who understand that, those who keep going, even when there's no evidence that it's working, they're the ones who break through. Something powerful about that. About knowing that the small things you do daily, waking up on time, sticking to your routine, pushing yourself to improve just a little bit each day, are what separate success from mediocrity. Not talent, not luck. Just the willingness to keep going when others stop. And make no mistake, there will be moments when you want to stop. When every fiber of your being tells you it's not worth it, when your mind feeds you excuses, just skip today, you've been working hard, or it doesn't really matter, you can always start again tomorrow. But if you listen to those excuses, you train yourself to quit when things get uncomfortable, and if you do that often enough, it becomes who you are, a person who starts but never finishes, a person who lets themselves off the hook when things get hard. That's why discipline isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. Every time you push through resistance, every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you build an identity of someone who is reliable, who is strong, who doesn't back down. That kind of self-respect, that kind of internal certainty is priceless. Because once you prove to yourself that you can stay committed to something, that you can follow through, you start to realize just how much you're capable of. And the best part, it's not about being perfect. You're going to slip up, you're going to miss a day, make mistakes, lose focus. That's inevitable. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that they never fail, it's that they don't let failure become their identity. They don't throw everything away because they stumbled. They get back on track quickly. No self-pity, no waiting for the right time to start again. Just a simple decision to keep moving forward. That's the secret. There is no magic formula. No shortcut. Just discipline, just consistency, just the willingness to keep going day after day, long after everyone else has given up. And if you can do that, if you can train yourself to be relentless, to keep showing up, even when progress is invisible, even when you're tired, even when your emotions tell you otherwise, then there is nothing you can't achieve. Because when discipline and consistency become a way of life, success is no longer a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. If there's one skill that can change the trajectory of your life, your career, your relationships, your ability to influence the world, it's communication. The ability to express yourself clearly, to articulate your thoughts with precision, to speak in a way that commands attention and respect. This isn't just an advantage, it's a necessity. Because here's the reality. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are, how talented, how knowledgeable. If you can't communicate effectively, none of that will matter. You won't be heard. You won't be understood. You won't be able to convey the depth of your ideas, and in the process, opportunities will slip through your fingers. And the worst part, you won't even realize it's happening. People assume that communication is just about talking. That if they know enough words, if they can string together a few sentences, they're set. But real communication is so much deeper than that. It's not just about saying something, it's about saying something meaningful, something that resonates, something that moves people. It's about crafting your words with care, choosing them with intention, and delivering them with conviction. And most people don't do that. Most people speak reactively, without thinking, without considering the weight of their words. They stumble through conversations, unsure of themselves, hoping the other person understands what they meant rather than what they said. They fumble opportunities in job interviews, in negotiations, in relationships, because they haven't taken the time to refine their ability to express themselves. And let's be clear, this is a skill. No one is born an exceptional communicator. It's something you build, and like anything else, it takes deliberate effort. It starts with listening, really listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak, but absorbing what the other person is saying. Because if you don't understand people, if you don't listen deeply, you won't communicate effectively. Then there's clarity. If you can't say something in a way that makes sense to others, then you don't truly understand it yourself. That's why writing is so important. If you want to refine your ability to communicate, start writing. Take your thoughts and put them on paper. Force yourself to structure them logically. Because if you can write clearly, you can think clearly. And if you can think clearly, you can speak clearly. And that's the real power, clarity of thought. When you speak with precision, when your words are aligned with your ideas, people take notice. They listen differently. They remember, because in a world full of noise, full of empty words and surface-level conversations, true articulation stands out like a beacon. But it's not just about clarity. It's also about confidence. You have to own what you say. You have to believe in your words, or no one else will. And that comes from preparation, from knowledge, from experience. If you know what you're talking about, if you've thought deeply about your ideas, then that confidence will come naturally. You won't need to fake it. And let's not forget the power of silence. Some of the greatest communicators aren't those who talk the most, but those who know when not to talk. Those who understand that a well-placed pause, a moment of silence, can be more powerful than any words. It gives weight to what's been said. It allows the listener to absorb the message, and it demonstrates control over the conversation, over the room, over yourself. That's what mastery looks like. It's not just talking, it's commanding presence. It's the ability to persuade, to inspire, to lead. It's the skill that will elevate you in every area of life, whether you're in a boardroom, on a stage, in a conversation that could change your future. And if you don't develop this, if you neglect it, you'll be limited. You'll watch as less capable, less intelligent people surpass you simply because they know how to express themselves. You'll struggle to be heard, to be taken seriously, to make the kind of impact you're capable of. So take it seriously. Study it, practice it. Because if you can master communication, if you can learn to speak with clarity, with confidence, with purpose, then there is no room, no situation, no opportunity that will ever be out of your reach. Money is one of the most powerful forces in your life. It dictates where you live, the choices you have, the opportunities you can provide for yourself and those you care about. And yet most people spend their entire lives avoiding the responsibility of truly understanding it. They work for it, they stress over it, they chase it, but they never actually take the time to learn how to master it. And that's a tragedy. Because financial literacy isn't just about wealth. It's about freedom, it's about control, it's about making choices from a position of strength rather than desperation. Look at how most people handle money. They earn it, they spend it, and they wonder why they never seem to have enough. It's a cycle of survival, not growth. They rely on luck, on hoping things will somehow improve, rather than taking the time to build a solid financial foundation. And the worst part, this ignorance isn't accidental, it's cultural. People are never really taught how money works, how to make it, how to keep it, how to use it as a tool rather than a source of stress. Instead, they're encouraged to consume, to spend impulsively, to chase fleeting pleasures while sacrificing long-term stability. But here's the truth. Financial success isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, how wisely you use it, how intentionally you structure your financial life. You could earn millions and still be broke if you don't understand the basic principles of money management. And you could earn a modest income and build lasting wealth. If you do, it all comes down to decisions. Daily, seemingly small decisions that add up over time. The first step is taking responsibility. No one is coming to save you financially. No government, no lottery win, no magical business idea is going to suddenly fix your situation. If you want financial freedom, you have to build it yourself. And that starts with education. You need to learn the rules of the game, because whether you realize it or not, you're already playing it. Every dollar you earn, every dollar you spend, every financial choice you make is shaping your future. The question is, are you making those choices consciously with strategy and foresight, or are you drifting, letting money control you instead of the other way around? You have to start with the basics: budgeting, saving, investing, understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. These aren't just abstract concepts. They're the building blocks of a stable life. If you don't control your spending, if you don't know where your money is going each month, then it doesn't matter how much you earn, it will slip through your fingers. And if you're not thinking about the future, about investing, about compounding, about how to make your money work for you, then you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of unnecessary struggle. And it's not just about money itself, it's about decision making. Because how you handle money is a direct reflection of how you handle life. Are you impulsive? Do you chase instant gratification at the expense of long-term security? Do you make financial decisions emotionally without thinking through the consequences? These patterns don't just affect your bank account. They affect everything: your stress levels, your relationships, your ability to take risks, your ability to build something meaningful. Look at the people who are financially stable, who have built something that lasts. They didn't do it by accident. They did it by making smart choices consistently, by delaying gratification, by understanding that short-term sacrifices lead to long-term freedom. They built habits. They educated themselves. They surrounded themselves with people who understood money, who could teach them, who could challenge their thinking. They took control. And you have to do the same. You have to develop the discipline to live below your means, to invest wisely, to protect yourself from unnecessary debt. You have to be strategic, to think long-term, to stop seeking quick fixes and instead build a system that creates stability and growth over time. Most importantly, you have to shift your mindset. Money isn't the enemy. It isn't something to fear or resent. It's a tool that, when used properly, can give you choices, security, and peace of mind. But like any tool, if you don't know how to use it, it can be dangerous. So learn, pay attention, take responsibility. Because the moment you do, the moment you commit to mastering this aspect of life, you will start to see the difference. You will move from being controlled by money to being in control of it. And when that happens, when you no longer make decisions from a place of financial desperation, but from a place of strength, everything changes. Because financial freedom isn't just about having money, it's about having power over your own future. Your body is the foundation of everything you do. Your mind, your ambitions, your ability to think clearly and act decisively, all of it is dependent on your physical state. And yet, people neglect it. They treat their health as an afterthought, something to worry about only when problems arise. But by the time your body starts breaking down, by the time fatigue becomes your default state, by the time stress turns into chronic illness, it's often too late to reverse the damage. If you don't have energy, you don't have anything. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you wake up exhausted, if your body is sluggish, if your mind is foggy, you won't execute. You won't show up as the sharpest version of yourself. You won't have the stamina to push through challenges, to think critically, to perform at the level required to achieve anything significant. Your health isn't just one aspect of life, it's the foundation of life itself. And it doesn't have to be complicated. People make health seem overwhelming, as if you need some extreme diet, some elaborate workout plan, some biohacking protocol. You don't. What you need is consistency. The same way discipline creates success in every other area of life, it creates success in your health. Eat real food, move every day, get enough sleep, manage stress. These are not revolutionary ideas, but they are profoundly effective. The problem isn't knowledge. The problem is action. People know what to do, but they don't do it. And that's the real issue. It's not just about what you eat, how much you exercise, or how many hours you sleep. It's about self-respect. Do you respect yourself enough to take care of your body? Do you respect yourself enough to fuel it properly, to move it regularly, to give it the rest it needs? Or do you treat it as an afterthought, abusing it with poor habits and hoping it somehow keeps functioning? Because eventually it won't. When you prioritize your health, everything else improves. Your focus sharpens. Your emotional resilience strengthens. Your ability to handle stress increases. You become more effective, more confident, more in control. And that's not just about longevity, it's about quality. What's the point of chasing success if you're too exhausted, too sick, too drained to enjoy it? What's the point of working hard if your body gives out before you even get to where you're going? Energy is everything, and it's not something you can afford to take for granted. If you want to perform at your best, if you want to live a life of purpose and achievement, then you have to take care of the machine that makes it all possible. Because when you neglect your body, you limit your potential. But when you master your health, when you cultivate energy, strength, and resilience, you give yourself the greatest advantage of all, the ability to take on the world without limitation. You can have all the knowledge in the world, the best plans, the perfect strategy, but if you don't take action, none of it matters. Thinking, planning, analyzing, these are important, but they're useless without execution, and this is where most people get stuck. They wait. They hesitate. They tell themselves they need more time, more preparation, more certainty before they start. But life doesn't wait. Opportunity doesn't wait. And the longer you delay, the more you train yourself to stay stagnant. The truth is, you will never feel completely ready. There will always be unknowns, always risks, always the possibility of failure. But that's not a reason to hesitate. That's the reason to move forward. Because failure isn't the enemy. It's the process. It's how you learn, how you refine your approach, how you get stronger. Every mistake, every setback, every moment of struggle, it's all part of the path. The people who succeed are not the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who embrace it, who learn from it, who refuse to let it define them. Perfectionism is just fear in disguise. People don't delay because they're aiming for excellence. They delay because they're afraid of looking foolish, afraid of making mistakes, afraid of proving to themselves that they're not as capable as they hoped. But the only real failure is refusing to try, because action, no matter how small, creates momentum, and momentum creates progress. So stop waiting, stop overthinking, stop telling yourself the conditions have to be perfect before you begin. They never will be. Take action anyway. Because the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or intelligence. It's the willingness to step forward despite uncertainty. And once you do that, once you make movement your default state, nothing will be able to stop you. Life doesn't reward those who simply wish, hope, or wait. It rewards those who take responsibility, who master the fundamentals, who commit to growth in every area: mindset, discipline, communication, financial literacy, health, and action, because success isn't an accident. It's not luck. It's the result of aligning your thoughts, your habits, and your decisions with the life you want to create. If you control your mind, you control your reality. If you master discipline, you eliminate excuses. If you communicate with clarity and purpose, you command influence. If you understand money, you create freedom. If you care for your health, you unlock energy and resilience. And if you take action despite fear, despite failure, you carve a path forward when others stand still. This is how you build a life of meaning, strength, and success, not by searching for shortcuts, not by waiting for the perfect moment, but by committing to the fundamentals day after day until they shape you into someone capable of achieving whatever you set your sights on. The question isn't whether you're capable. The question is whether you will choose to step up, take control, and do what's necessary. Because everything you want, everything you could become, begins the moment you decide to take responsibility and move forward with purpose.